Sarah, God gives us two incredible gifts in this life: a body that is designed to heal and thrive, and the wonderful fruits of the earth to nourish it. But as we enter the later seasons of our lives, a critical misunderstanding can occur. We believe we are honoring our body with these fruits, but we may be unknowingly using them in a way that goes against our own biology. Today I must speak a hard truth. Some of the very fruits you eat to protect your heart are quietly asking it to work harder, not smarter.
Doctor, that's a beautiful way to frame it, but it's also deeply concerning. The idea that we could be using nature's gifts in the wrong way is something I don't think many of us have ever considered. For everyone listening, this is the wisdom of Dr. David Miller, a board-certified cardiologist who has dedicated more than 30 years to understanding these very nuances of senior heart health. Doctor, what does that mean? Working harder, not smarter? How can something as natural as fruit cause that?
It's a pattern I have seen for decades, Sarah. Well-intentioned patients who come to my office with high blood pressure, fatigue, or palpitations, all while telling me they've sworn off junk food and are eating plenty of fruit. They don't realize that as our bodies age, our ability to process high concentrations of natural sugar, potassium, and even certain fluids changes dramatically. What was once beneficial can become a burden.
So this isn't about fruit being bad, but about us needing a new understanding, a new set of rules for this season of life.
That is the perfect way to say it. And today we are going to learn those new rules. I will walk you through the 9 specific fruits that require this new wisdom and show you what to choose instead to truly work with your heart.
This feels like a truly vital conversation based on wisdom and respect for our bodies. If you feel ready to learn these new rules to honor your health, please let us know by typing "I'm ready" in the comments below. It's a wonderful way for us all to begin this journey together. And please, subscribe to Health Voices so you can continue to be a part of our growing family. Doctor, let's begin. Please, teach us these new rules.
All right, Sarah. The first rule for this new season of life, which corresponds to fruit number 9 on our countdown, is this: know how your food interacts with your medications. And the fruit that best exemplifies this rule is grapefruit.
Grapefruit. It's famous for being a diet food, packed with vitamin C. It seems like the classic healthy breakfast choice. Why is it starting our list of foods to be cautious of?
Grapefruit itself is a wonderful creation of nature, but it contains very potent natural compounds. And if you are on common medications for your heart, especially statins for cholesterol or certain calcium channel blockers for blood pressure, this fruit can turn your morning into a biochemical battleground. It interferes with a specific enzyme pathway in the liver, a precise system God designed to break down and clear these medications from your body.
So if I'm understanding you correctly, the grapefruit essentially clogs the drain, causing the medicine to build up to potentially dangerous levels inside the body. The danger isn't the fruit itself, but this specific, critical interaction.
That is the perfect analogy. The drain gets clogged. I'll never forget my patient, Mr. Gerald, a 74-year-old who was doing everything right after his bypass surgery. But he was coming to me with dizzy spells and severe muscle cramping. It turned out his daily cleanse, a large glass of fresh grapefruit juice, was causing his statin levels to more than double. He thought he was helping his heart, but he was unknowingly creating a toxic situation inside his own body. Once we removed the grapefruit, his symptoms vanished.
That is so frightening because it's a completely invisible danger. He would have never made that connection on his own. It really underscores the importance of speaking with your doctor or pharmacist about these potential interactions.
It does. And that theme of invisible dangers continues with fruit number 8, the banana.
Okay, doctor. This one might be the most shocking yet for our audience. Bananas are what we give to our children. They're the go-to fruit for potassium and preventing cramps. How can a banana possibly be a danger?
Once again, it's about understanding the new rules for an aging body. As our kidneys become less efficient with age, they struggle to clear excess potassium. Now, if a senior is also taking very common blood pressure medications like an ACE inhibitor or an ARB, which also cause the body to retain potassium, you create a perfect storm for a dangerous buildup called hyperkalemia. This can directly disrupt the delicate electrical signals of the heart. I had a patient, Mrs. Connie Harper, a sweet 76-year-old widow. She experienced a fainting spell at the grocery store that scared her to her core. By the time she got to the ER, her heart was in a life-threatening arrhythmia. The cause? Her heart medication combined with her daily habit of eating 3 bananas, which she believed was good for her blood pressure. Her healthy habit had overloaded her system with potassium, tipping her heart into chaos.
That is terrifying because she was actively trying to do the right thing for her health. It's another example of how a healthy food can become harmful in the context of age and medication. It seems so unfair. Doctor, what about fruits that have been altered by us? What's at number 7?
At number 7, we have fruit that has been stripped of its natural integrity. Canned fruit, especially those packed in heavy syrup or even light syrup. When you see that on a grocery shelf, I want you to see it for what it is: a dessert, not a health food. The canning process often destroys the delicate vitamins, and then the fruit is left to bathe in what is essentially a pure sugar solution. It is a direct recipe for the kind of inflammation that damages arteries.
So, a fruit that can interfere with our medications, another that can disrupt our body's electrolyte balance, and a third that's really just candy in disguise. This is a very powerful start to the list. So, we have a fruit that can interfere with our medications, another that can disrupt our body's electrolyte balance, and a third that's really just candy in disguise. This is a powerful start. But doctor, what about the beautiful, fresh, tropical fruits that we're told are full of vitamins and feel like a healthy indulgence? Let's talk about number 6 on your list.
At number 6, we have a fruit that feels like pure sunshine and comfort: the mango. It's sweet, delicious, but for many seniors, that very sweetness can be a trap. Mangoes have what we call a very high glycemic load, which is a scientific way of saying they can raise your blood glucose levels very, very quickly.
And why is that quick spike so much more dangerous for an older person?
The body's system for managing sugar, the intricate system God gave us, is incredibly sophisticated. But after age 60, its efficiency naturally declines. When you flood it with the high sugar from a mango, especially on an empty stomach, you can trigger that inflammatory cascade we discussed earlier. This chronic inflammation is a foundational enemy of senior heart health. It stiffens arteries and makes the heart work harder over time. I think of Mr. Donald Mays, a 69-year-old veteran from Florida. He was so proud that he'd given up soda and sweets. "I snack on fruit now, Doc," he told me, "mostly mangoes." But his blood sugar had quietly crept into the diabetic range. He didn't realize that one mango can contain over 45 grams of sugar, more than a can of Coke. He had unknowingly replaced one danger with another. His wonderful quote to me was, "I never thought fruit could act like sugar, but I guess sugar is sugar no matter how pretty it looks."
That story is so important because it highlights a dangerous substitution. People think, I'm giving up processed sugar for natural sugar, but they don't realize that in large quantities, the body's reaction can be just as severe.
Exactly. The source of the sugar matters less than the load on the system, which brings us to another summer favorite at number 5, watermelon.
Watermelon. Doctor, it's almost 92% water. It feels like the most hydrating, harmless fruit on the planet. How can that possibly be a threat to the heart?
It can be a triple threat for some seniors, Sarah. It's not just the sugar, but the combination of sugar, a high amount of potassium, and a massive fluid volume all at once. For an older person, Perhaps with already reduced kidney function or on certain heart medications, the body simply can't process that rapid influx. The heart has to work overtime to pump the extra fluid, and the kidneys struggle to balance the electrolytes. My patient, Mrs. Lila Cartwright, an 81-year-old former librarian, came to me with swollen ankles and shortness of breath. The cause? Her new habit of eating big bowls of watermelon every night instead of ice cream. Her healthy choice was unintentionally overloading her system.
So even a fruit that is mostly water can overload the system if that system is more fragile. This is all about understanding the context of our bodies as they are today. What is the next fruit on the list at number 4?
At number 4 is another tropical favorite that requires caution: pineapple. Like mangoes, it is very high in sugar, but it also presents another, different kind of challenge. Pineapple is extremely acidic. For the many seniors who struggle with acid reflux or GERD, a large amount of pineapple can cause significant heartburn and chest discomfort. In some cases, that severe pain can be mistaken for a heart-related issue, causing immense anxiety and unnecessary worry.
That's a crucial point, the anxiety of not knowing what's causing your symptoms. Doctor, all of this information can feel so counterintuitive. It goes against so much of what we've been told our whole lives. For our audience, if you have ever felt confused by conflicting advice about which fruits are healthy, please let us know by typing the word confused in the comments. It's a good reminder that we are all on this learning journey together. It's so validating to see all the comments, Doctor. It confirms that this confusion is a shared experience for so many. We are now at the top 3. These must be the most deceptive fruits of all. What's at number 3?
Number 3 is what I call nature's candy, a food that wears the ultimate halo of health, but can be just as damaging as any processed sweet. I'm talking about dried fruits.
Dried fruits? Like raisins, dates, and dried apricots? But they are pure fruit, often with no added sugar. How can they be a problem?
You've hit on the key deception, Sarah. When a fruit is dried, you remove the water, the very element God put there to provide volume and help you feel full. What you are left with is a highly concentrated, sticky lump of sugar. A small box of raisins can have as much sugar as a candy bar. It's a man-made concentration of nature's sweetness that our bodies were simply not designed to handle in that form. My patient, Mr. Samuel Reed, a 72-year-old retired postal worker, had suffered 2 minor strokes. He was doing everything right, or so he thought. He'd given up all desserts. His only sweet treat was a small tin of raisins and dates he kept in his truck. That healthy snack was the source of the sugar that was keeping his triglycerides and blood sugar dangerously high, contributing to his strokes. He told me, "I thought I had given up dessert, Doc. Turns out I just traded it for a smaller version that fooled me."
That is a heartbreaking story. He was trying so hard. It proves that natural doesn't always mean healthy if the food has been unnaturally concentrated. What is the danger at number 2?
Number 2 is the next step in that same dangerous process: bottled fruit juice. If dried fruit is concentrated sugar, then juice is liquefied sugar. You can drink the sugar of 10 oranges in a single glass, but without a single shred of the fiber God designed to protect you. It is a direct metabolic shock to the system. My patient, Mrs. Darlene Evans, 79, couldn't understand why her blood pressure and triglycerides were fluctuating so wildly. The culprit was the heart-healthy superfruit juice blend she was drinking every single morning.
So the more processed and concentrated the fruit becomes, the more dangerous it is for our bodies. Doctor, this has been an incredible education. We have finally arrived at the number 1 most surprising fruit danger for seniors. After all this, what could it possibly be?
The number 1 danger, Sarah, is not exotic or processed. It's dangerous because it is so common, so beloved, and so incredibly easy to overeat. The number 1 spot is shared by 2 fruits, grapes and cherries.
Grapes and cherries? Doctor, I am truly stunned. Those are whole fruits. They're full of antioxidants. They are on every single healthy foods list. Why on earth are they number one?
Because the danger is in the dose, and these fruits are almost designed to be overeaten mindlessly. You don't eat just one grape. You eat a whole bunch while watching television. You don't eat one cherry. You eat a big bowl. A large bowl of grapes can contain 40, 50, even 60 grams of sugar delivered rapidly to your system. While they do have health benefits in very small, controlled amounts, the sheer volume of sugar that most people consume in one sitting makes them one of the biggest, most overlooked threats to senior heart health. It's the daily massive sugar load from a food you believe is completely harmless that makes it the sneakiest danger of all.
I am speechless, Doctor. Grapes and cherries. It just goes to show that even the most seemingly innocent foods require a new level of wisdom and respect as we age. After hearing all of these warnings, which can feel a bit scary, I think what our audience needs now is a clear path forward. How can we enjoy the fruits we love safely?
That is the most important question, because my message is not to eliminate fruit, it's to enjoy it intelligently. I give my patients 3 simple principles for eating fruit after 60. First, always pair your fruit with a protein or a healthy fat. Think of an apple with a handful of walnuts or a few berries with plain Greek yogurt. The protein and fat act as a crucial buffer, preventing that dangerous blood sugar spike.
So never eat fruit by itself on an empty stomach. That's a fantastic rule. What's the second principle?
Second, make berries your best friend. Strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries. They are packed with fiber and disease-fighting antioxidants, and they are naturally much lower in sugar than most other fruits. They are nature's true candy. And third, the simplest rule of all, practice mindful portion control. A serving of fruit is roughly what fits in the palm of your hand, not a giant bowl you eat while distracted. It's about eating with intention.
That feels so much more manageable and positive. It's not a list of harsh restrictions, but a strategy for safe enjoyment. Pair it, prioritize berries, and be mindful of portions. That's a clear path forward for everyone.
Exactly. And Sarah, if I can share one final thought from my heart, my greatest wish as a doctor is for our seniors to live their lives with confidence, not with fear. This conversation isn't about being afraid of a banana or a mango. It's about developing a deeper respect for the wisdom of your own body. The body that God has blessed us with speaks to us through our energy levels, our sleep, and how we feel day to day. Our job in this season of life is simply to listen more closely and nourish it with the gentle balance it is asking for.
What a beautiful and powerful message to end on. It's not about fear. It's about listening with respect and love. Doctor, thank you for guiding us with such honesty and care today. And to our wonderful Health Voices family, thank you for joining this vital conversation. We would love to hear from you. After hearing this new wisdom, what is one small, positive change this video has inspired you to make? Please share your commitment in the comments below. Your story could be the very encouragement someone else needs to see today. If you found this video life-changing, please give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and share it with a loved one. You could be protecting a heart you care about. Thank you for watching Health Voices. Take care.